Chapter 1: The Biggest Stage. Sola Montero stood under a constellation of white-hot spotlights, her periwinkle and blonde hair whipping around her face as she raised the gold-studded microphone to her lips. Her heartbeat thrummed faster than the bass vibrating the floor of the stadium. A sea of neon signs and glowing wristbands pulsed back at her, thousands of solar flares chanting her name, their screams merging into one deafening roar. This was it, her moment. She took a breath she hoped would steady her, and the music surged. The opening chords of Sunlight rolled out in a shimmering wave. Sola closed her eyes. I am not tough. Her voice trembled on the first line, and for a split second, she was 18 again, standing behind a mall food court in North Carolina, hoping someone, anyone, would stop to listen. But that girl was gone. She had clawed her way here. Sola's eyes snapped open. The lights went golden, flooding the stage in brilliance. I am not strong. She walked forward until she reached the edge of the stage, where the heat from the pyrotechnics met the chill from the screaming crowd. Until I turned my sunlight on. The note soared, impossibly high and clear, and she felt the crowd explode around her, screams, tears, hands reaching up like she could save them. Confetti cannons erupted in a storm of gold. Somewhere behind the blinding spotlights, a line of cameras captured every moment, every flick of her hair, every quiver of her lip, ready to be dissected, memed, and worshipped by millions by morning. Sola held the last note longer than she thought her lungs would allow, until she was lightheaded and weightless. Then she let it go. The lights cut to darkness. A final, thunderous cheer. Her chest heaved as she turned and stumbled backstage, the echo of the song still ringing in her ears. Back in the labyrinth of corridors behind the stage, the roar of the crowd softened to a dull, persistent hum in her bones. Crew members flitted around her, giving congratulatory nods, but no one dared touch her. Her sequined bodysuit itched against her skin. Her mouth tasted like adrenaline. Sola pulled out her phone, hands still shaking, and opened her messages. Talia Lightfoot, amazing job. Teeny and I are in the car. We'll meet you at the loft. Big plans to go over tonight. Martina Jones, you have 5 minutes to bask. Then call me. She locked the phone without replying. For a fleeting second, she imagined dropping it into the nearest trash can and disappearing back into obscurity. Back to dive bars and cheap motels, to a life she could recognize as her own. But the thought vanished as quickly as it came. Because she knew better, she wasn't the girl from the food court anymore. She was Sola Montero, genre-bending pop phenomenon, Billboard chart topper, and, soon, the owner of her own label imprint if exquisite hit #1. And she was ready to burn. Chapter 2: After the Applause. The ride to the loft was quiet except for the distant thump of her own song on the car radio. Sola slumped back against the leather seat, the adrenaline seeping out of her in slow, ragged waves. Teeny sat beside her, scrolling nervously through notifications. Every so often, she'd steal a glance at Sola as if she might shatter from the wrong word. Fans are losing it, Teeny ventured softly. #Sunlight is already trending. #1 in 7 countries. Sola tried to smile, but it felt brittle. That's good. Outside, Los Angeles blurred past, billboards with her face 12 feet tall, flashing headlines she hadn't approved, gossip tickers rolling under the images. When they pulled up in front of her building, a gaggle of paparazzi swarmed the curb, cameras clicking like insects. Sola kept her chin lifted, ignoring the chorus of questions. Are you and Calliope feuding again? Is it true you stole Tanya Petty's producer? Why didn't rain come tonight? She slipped through the door without answering, the hush of the lobby swallowing the chaos behind her. Her loft was as she'd left it, industrial brick walls softened by white velvet couches, racks of designer clothes for photoshoots, and a glass coffee table littered with old set lists. Talia was already there, perched on the sofa, her rainbow-streaked bangs falling into her eyes as she paged through a leather-bound planner. Darling, Talia beamed, standing to hug her, you were luminous. Sola let herself be folded into the hug, feeling, just for a moment, safe. Thank you, she murmured. Teeny slipped past him to the kitchen, busying herself with a bottle of mineral water she'd never opened. Talia released her and launched straight into business. Alright, we need to finalize the rollout timeline. Exquisite is going to make or break this next chapter for you. Sola dropped onto the couch and kicked off her glittery boots. I know, you understand what's at stake. If it hits #1, I can negotiate my own imprint. Talia nodded, solemn. Exactly. Total creative control. No more fighting for budget. No more being handed hand-me-down producers. You'll be in charge. Solar leaned back, pressing her palms over her eyes. God, that sounds perfect. It will be, Talia promised. But you have to be ready for the label's expectations. This launch has to be flawless. Teeny reappeared, her voice barely above a whisper. And, Martina said she's stopping by. Solar's stomach tightened. Of course she is. As if summoned, the door swung open without a knock. Martina Jones strode inside in head-to-toe black, her silk shirt unbuttoned halfway down her chest. The stale tang of cigarette smoke clung to her like a second skin. Well, she drawled, look at you. Our little headliner. She flicked her eyes over the room, her smirk curling. Congratulations. The performance was tolerable. Solar swallowed her annoyance. Thank you, Martina. Martina's gaze landed on Teeny, who shrank back instinctively. Without breaking eye contact, Martina took a final drag from her cigarette, then leaned over and crushed it out on the lid of Teeny's silver laptop. Oops, she said blandly. Teeny's breath hitched. Talia stiffened. Martina, relax. Martina waved her off. We have more pressing matters. She turned her shark smile back to Solar. You're invited to a little celebration. An exclusive gathering on Screwpine Island. I'd recommend you show your pretty face. Make nice with the right people. Solar shifted uneasily. What's the dress code? Martina's expression turned cold. Ask another question, she said, and I'll strike you from the guest list myself. Solar felt Teeny's hand brush her arm in silent warning. I'll be there, Solar said carefully. Martina's smile returned, all false sweetness. Good girl. You can bring one person. Teeny, I assume. Teeny nodded, her throat working. Pack tonight, Martina ordered. You'll be on the plane by noon. And just like that, she was gone, her presence still curdling the air even after the door clicked shut. Solar didn't move. Finally, Talia sat beside her, voice low. You don't have to do this. We'll figure something else out. But Solar knew she'd already made her choice. I'm going, she said. And in her chest, a small, cold certainty settled in. There was no turning back.
Thanks for listening. Please like, share, and subscribe for more content like this. Press play on the next video to continue with Solar's story.